everyone, this is Maribel Bleeker in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and you're watching GoTarryn TV.
Hey everyone, I'm Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, and welcome to GoTarryn TV. Today is episode 526, and we have a very new guest here for the first time on GoTarryn TV, all the way from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And please welcome Ms. Maribel Bleeker. Maribel, how are you doing today?
Hi, Tarryn. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you on. Thanks so much again, Maribel, for coming on. I really appreciate you joining us here on today's video blog. You're definitely referred to us strongly and recommended by a mutual fitness colleague of ours, Mr. Sean George, down there in Stuart, Florida. So we got to say hi to Sean. He's a multiple-time guest here on GoTarryn TV. He spoke very highly of you, Maribel, and let me first say this about you. You know, again, you're a great health and fitness specialist working down there. I was very excited to get you on. I saw your long list of highly accredited credentials, including degree and, certifications and what have you, and all of your experience that you have. So, again, I'm really excited that, we're having you on here for the first time. And if you could just please, first question right off the gate, can you tell folks a little bit about yourself and where you grew up and how you got to this point where you're at, please?
Sure. Okay. I grew up down in Homestead, Florida, so just south of Miami. I'm actually originally from Costa Rica.
Cool.
But
Yes.
my mom married an American and moved us to the U.S. when I was 5. So I grew up down in Miami. And I lived down there until I got married. I moved up here to Palm Beach Gardens right after getting married. So that's probably been about 14 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a runner. I'm an avid runner, actually, a marathoner. And I love that. And so for years, I actually worked down south at a nuclear power plant, just doing office work. But I was not very passionate about that. You can only make so many copies and feel fulfilled. So yeah, just that was kind of what started, it kind of moving me in the direction of doing something that I was passionate about. And fitness is something that I love. And little did I know that I could actually find a career in fitness. I didn't realize that. And so when I discovered that, things started to really change.
How cool is that? And can you take us through, too, also, where did you go to school and what degree did you end up going for?
Yeah, sure. So I went to school at Florida International University, which is in Miami. And my degree is in exercise and sports science. Mm-hmm. And again, I was so excited when I saw that there was actually a degree that had the word exercise in it. That was something that just thrilled me, and it was just the best decision I could have made. So
yeah. Maribel, I can totally agree and validate that. I feel exactly the same way mutually when I went to my undergrad as well. So talk us through and take us through a timeline, please. And maybe we could start with either the first certification or first class that you got inspired in, and kind of a timeline of the direction of where you started with saying, okay, my first goal is going to be this. And I know we're done aerobics and spin, body pump. But talk us through and start at the very beginning on that, please, if you would.
Sure. So basically, like I said, because I was working at the power plant, was really passionate about fitness. I was going to the gym, the YMCA. And that's kind of where I first saw that there were certifications to teach classes. And I thought, I could do that. So I did my first certification. It was through the YMCA, started teaching a spin class, an aerobics class, and just realized that I loved it, absolutely loved it. And that's when I thought, I'm going to go back to school. And really, it was on my husband's urging. He was my boyfriend at the time, and he just really encouraged to go for it and said, just do it. Do what you're passionate about.
Yes.
Scary. It was scary.
It's a big risk. Yes.
It was for me, So I went back to school and to FIU, and I knew from the minute I started that it was great, despite some of the classes being maybe a little tough, but it was just so fun, and to be in line with the other people that were also passionate about something so similar. So again, got my degree, continued teaching classes while I was studying, finished, left my job at the nuclear power plant, and then started working at Jupiter Medical Center, which is a hospital near me, and it was in the wellness center with cardiac rehab and just working with patients that were in the hospital that then were released from physical therapy and sent over to wellness centers. So I worked with them. And then at the same time, I was also working at Florida Power and Light again, which is actually, again, the company that I had worked for, but now I was working with them in their wellness center as one of their exercise specialists and just doing the exercise prescriptions for the employees. So that kind of was the start for me. And then in between those, I was doing classes, body pump, and just teaching the spin and continuing to do the different kind of fitness classes and really enjoying that until I decided to go out on my own.
Wow, that is so cool. And
Yeah.
I didn't ask you this, and I didn't ask Sean either, but how did you end up meeting Sean as well? Have you guys worked together in the same fitness center?
Actually, Sean and I met, probably, I think it was like 2012, 2011, 2012, and I decided I wanted to try something different, and that thing for me at that time was boxing.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so I found Sean. That's how I found him. He was teaching boxing at a local gym.
Yeah.
I went in there and just hired him and just started learning a little bit about boxing and letting him put. And I as a trainer, it's really tough to hire a trainer because you're just like, oh, what are the? Am I really? We're very, we're just watching all the time. But it was great. Sean was great, and he did. I loved, how he trained me. And it was really fun. And that's actually how we met, and we've just kept in contact over the years.
I didn't realize that. But Sean had been on here before a while back talking about his boxing background and expertise in that. But I'll say something on this, Maribel, of what you just said. There's nobody out there, I strongly believe, that doesn't believe in hiring another trainer as much as I do. In other words, what I mean by that, I have a personal trainer, Travis, and people look at me and they snicker and they're like, you're a personal trainer. Why do you need a trainer? And I'm kind of going on my soapbox here right now, but I say this all the time to all my new clients especially too. And the first thing I say is, I've got a personal trainer. And they kind of look at me sideways and they're like, what? Why do you need a trainer? But, it's all about accountability. For me, anyways. I'm just saying that for me, if I want to work out my best or if I want to meet my goals, I know that if there's another person who's sharp, a fitness professional, and they're looking at me and assessing me, they're going to hold you accountable. So I really commend what you just said. I think that's that needs to be more out there. There needs to be more trainers doing that, actually.
No, you're right. I absolutely, that was the best choice I made right then at that time. And then since then, I did a figure competition a couple of years ago, hired a trainer for that because I thought, well,
there you go.
Done that competition, and it was great. It's so fun also to have somebody else coaching you. So it takes that part out of it for you, and you just follow direction, and and just they're going to push you that much harder. So yeah.
Very much so, Maribel. I totally think that everyone should have a personal trainer, and that includes personal trainers as well. I mean, certainly, I totally believe that. That is so cool. So now tell us a little bit about some of the senior population that you work with, please, if you don't mind. Could we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so that kind of how that started was at the hospital when I was working in the wellness center at Jupiter Medical Center. A lot of the patients that were coming from rehab were senior citizens.
Yeah.
And so that kind of was an introduction to me there and working with that clientele. And I just fell in love with that clientele. I love seniors, and I love helping them with just activities of daily living. And so it just became one of the passions that I have. And so yeah, so I've worked over the years, now privately with senior citizens that, have dealt with Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, and just really focused on fall prevention and just activities of daily living.
Yeah, also, Maribel, I bet, let me ask you this, because I think that you attest to this as well, but I work with a lot of seniors myself as well, but in my view, I don't think any other client out there sees fitness and health as important as they do. Because, for example, when I'm meeting a client, most people that would not cancel on me at the last minute or not show up because they're tired would be the seniors, because they know every day they're living could be, they're getting closer, and they've only got a limited amount of time. But do you see that as well? Am I fair to say that your most dedicated or loyal clients would be senior population?
Yeah, absolutely. I have seen that. I mean, the seniors that I'm with right now, I've been with them for 8 years now, and they're just steady because they recognize that there is such a high value
exactly
on that quality of living, and they see that benefit, and so they want to hold on to that, of course.
Yeah, and if we're all lucky, we're all going to be senior citizens one day. And what, at that point, when you're that age, 80, 90, and plus, is there more important than our health and wellness?
Exactly.
You can't put a price on it. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
That is excellent. Let me ask you this, Maribel. What, and again, this is a fully loaded question, but again, and you can use as many sentences as you want on this one, but what would you say would be most rewarding and what you're most passionate about what you're doing right now with working with everybody, all of your clients?
Okay. Right now, I would say that one of the things that's most rewarding is just being able to offer a full package to my clients. So it isn't, we can exercise all day long.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the nutrition component really in check, it's really hard to achieve the kind of results that we're looking for. Even seniors,
Right.
no, they may not be trying to have a six-pack. They might not be trying to do a marathon.
Yeah.
But they want to be healthy, and it really is about creating health from the inside, and just that's what's really going to enable us to be the strongest, fittest version of ourselves if we have both components really coming together. So that's what I'm truly passionate about, is being able to bring that to all of my clients.
That's really cool. And then let me ask you this part, Maribel, because if a new person comes in and let's say they're real intimidated and scared, you see this a lot too, I'm sure, and they come to the fitness center, they've never worked out, or they're just worried because they're not sure if they're going to be able to do this. It's a big line for them to cross, so to speak, when they get in there. How would you handle them when they first meet you in terms of what your training philosophy is on fitness, and how can you help guide them to ensure that that is their right decision, that they're making the right choice to be there with you?
Okay, well, first, just to clarify, I don't actually train in a gym.
Oh, okay.
So all of my training is done in somebody's home, or somebody will come to my home.
Right, yeah.
Also, I was running the North Palm Beach Adventure Boot Camp for Women, which I'm doing. I did that for 8 years, and I just finished that in December. So that is actually where I saw the majority of my clientele of all variety of levels.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I would have anywhere from 15 to 30 women at one time.
Oh my God! Wow.
And so you're going to have all fitness levels there, right?
Yeah.
I had a wide variety of age groups. So I came across that all the time. And one of the biggest things I think is just really encouraging the client as they're coming to know that it's about them, and it's not about trying to outperform the person next to them or trying to be better than somebody else. But it really is about them being comfortable and coming in and having fun and just having a good, positive experience from the beginning. So it's never the goal for somebody brand new coming in who maybe hasn't been exercising to just, jump in and push them so hard that then they're, they can't even move the next day, and they feel beat up and defeated.
Yeah.
So really is just about lifting the individual up and helping them realize that it's perfectly okay to be in the place where they're at and where they're starting. That's their starting point. And then we're going to progress from there. And just across the board, I always had people really excelling and just seeing that improvement and that progress over time. So it makes it really fun.
That's excellent. And I was going to ask you about that, because getting back to the North Palm Beach Adventure Boot Camp for Women, you did that, again, from 2008 to 2015, is that right?
Yes.
So,
correct.
can you talk about that experience and what you liked about that as well?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience for me. I was working at the hospital and at FPL Corporate, and I decided that I was ready to just go out on my own.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And that's kind of how that started.
Okay.
So the North Palm Beach Adventure Boot Camp is actually all around the country. It's not franchise. It's something that's a licensed program. You get licensed to have that name and be able to teach that. And that's basically how that came about. And I like the format and the way that the training that they gave for actually John Spencer Ellis is the individual who created Adventure Boot Camp.
Okay.
And so it was great. It was a great decision. I loved it. At the time when I started in 2008, there were no boot camps in town.
Oh, wow.
It was I was like the first one here, and so it was just fun. It was just so fun. And at 5:30 a.m., you think show up. And I remember my husband saying, well, "Who's going to show up at 5:30 in the morning?" And I was like, "Well, it's my understanding that a lot of people will," and they did.
Wow!
So it was really cool. So these women came, and I made a lot of just amazing friends over the years, and just watched a lot of women's lives really change for the better, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and again, I did that for 8 years, and at the same time had some private clients, and now I'm no longer doing the camp, but it was a great stint there. Those 8 years were fantastic, so I love it.
Yeah, you wouldn't take it back for anything, I bet. That's
Nothing.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Maribel. So with working right now with your clientele base, and you pretty much are working a full schedule. Then I take it. 5:30 in the morning for those boot camps pretty early. What does your week look like? Take us through like your typical work week, if you would.
Sure. Actually, again, I still have the private clients.
Mm-hmm.
So I train 4 or 5 times a week with clients.
Yeah.
I'm not full-time training clients.
Okay.
But, the clients that I train, I'll have, maybe 3 days a week that I'm out of the house, that I'm gone in the mornings, and
Yeah.
then I've got a client that comes to the house. And so, again, there's no travel time there, so that's nice.
That's
and
nice.
comes here, and I train her here. And then the rest of the time, I'm actually partnered with a nutrition company, so I have a lot of online clients now.
Oh,
so I do
nice.
a lot of work from home. So I'm busy, but I'm at the house. So I just, we do a lot of this. We do a lot of Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Able to coach people that way. And and that just takes up the majority of the days, but it's very rewarding. It's very fun.
That does sound rewarding and satisfying too. Let me ask you this, Maribel. Can you tell us maybe one or two success stories you can think of, or favorite testimonials that you were proudly part of, that you were just very, very happy, that was very gratifying to you?
Yes. One in particular that stands out is a girl named Joanna.
Okay.
And Joanna is now a mom of 3, but at the time when I was working with her, she's a mom of 2.
Oh.
And just a good friend of mine. We actually met at the hospital when I was working there. She actually still works there.
Oh, wow.
And so we were just catching up. She came over one day and we're talking, and she started telling me how exhausted she was and how she just had no energy. And she was working a lot and had 2 young girls, and her youngest, I think, is probably about 2.5 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And she had not been able to lose the baby weight. And she says, I don't exercise, I'm exhausted, and I have 0 energy. And I said, well, I'm happy to help you. If you would like some help, I'm more than happy to help you. And so she was ready. She said, yes, if you really think this is something that I can do. I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, I have a system and a plan. And if you're aim and you're ready and you want to follow it, we can do this. And Joanna, in 90 days, released 30 pounds.
Nice. Wow.
It's a lot of midsection weight. Just you know what? I actually have her picture. Do you want me to show you?
Let's go for it. If you got it handy, yeah. Let's take a look at it.
I just had a wellness Wednesday a few days ago. Can you see her?
Yes, yeah, that's perfect. Wow, that is excellent. Nice.
Yeah, I just didn't realize she's sitting right in front of me. But
wow.
she's a lot of abdominal, visceral fat that she was really, things she could get rid of. And so that was something. And it wasn't like an extreme exercising that she had to do. She was exercising, but it was very moderate because she didn't have a lot of time. But it was really, the combination of that and the nutrition made a huge, huge difference for her. And, she's had another baby since then. She's back to her, fitness weight and just feeling great.
Good.
Energy up. And, she's by far one of the best success stories I have, just because I've seen long term just how impacting it's been in her life and how great she feels. Yeah,
absolutely. If she's watching right now, then again, that's awesome to be part of that. I got to commend her, Joanna. That's correct.
Joanna, yeah.
Well, great job there, Joanna. Again, that's a very amazing difference in the picture. So, like you said too, it's not a sprint, but it's a marathon, so to speak. It's not overnight, but rather it does take time. But that is an excellent amount of weight. That was 30 pounds in 90 days, roughly. Yep. That's awesome. Yeah.
And again, just increased energy and just so much just healthy.
Yeah.
Just about getting healthy. So it was really good.
Yeah, certainly. Let me ask you this. So on the flip side of the coin, what challenges or barriers or obstacles can you think of in this whole fitness journey of yours? Every day all of us are experiencing something to that effect, but was there any time that ever came that you were disappointed or just wondered, wow, this is really tough. How am I going to get past this obstacle?
Oh, wow. I'm going to say, when it comes to my fitness journey, it really has been very, very positive. I'm sure there have been some moments that have been a little bit more challenging than others. Mm-hmm. But in reality, I tend to be the kind of person that even if something comes up that maybe isn't so great, I really try to look at things on a positive way and really flip it so that I can make the best of whatever that situation is, so that I can grow and learn from it. So can I think of one specific thing that was a challenge? I honestly cannot.
No, that's actually a good thing. That's actually,
it's just been a really great journey for me. Just something that it's always evolving, always growing, and ever changing. As you know, the fitness industry is changing on a day-to-day basis. But I think if we're willing to learn and grow with it and change with it, you know, I think that we can only become better and be that much more in tune to the needs of our clients.
Very well said. You know, much agreed, Maribel. And you know, having said what you just did, I think that says you're exactly where you need to be, because you're able to handle the situations that come to you. And I could tell, just speaking to you, you're a very optimistic person as well. I admire that. You know, here's a more specific question. Maybe we can narrow it down with the challenge, because you've done something that I've never done, and that is marathons. I've never done a marathon or come close to it for that matter. I'm okay to say that and admit it here. But let me ask you, like, for example, a marathon, you know, that's grueling, 26.2 miles, I believe. Is that right? When you think about that, you know, amount of distance and time, how do you overcome, or is that pretty easy and simple in doing the physical part of it, or is it more mental, or is it both? How would you answer that?
It's both.
Okay.
I mean, I've done 10 of them.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's 10 more than I've done.
And like I said, I love running. I am an endurance runner. I love to run. Does that mean that they're always easy? No, it doesn't. There are runs that I go out there that they're challenging.
Yeah.
And yet, you know, I still continue running because I know that the reward is great for me. You know, that it just feels good for me. But, you know, I would say probably one of the hardest things about the marathon is the training itself. It takes a long time. So I recall training for a marathon, and I actually lived down in Homestead, and everything was flat. And my husband, we were dating at the time, we decided to run the San Francisco Marathon. So that was my second marathon. Nice. And when we trained for that, I had to do all of my hill training on a treadmill. That was not fun.
Yeah.
If I'm on a treadmill for more than 20 or 30 minutes, it's way too long. It's just not enjoyable to me. And it was all uphill. So it was a really grueling training. It just wasn't very fun. But then when we got to the race, it was phenomenal. Like, that was a beautiful race, and the training definitely paid off. So the end result is always very uplifting and just very, very rewarding. So I absolutely love that. And then, you know, and if I'm running for time, which I tend to do a lot of times, I'm always racing myself. And I love when I can go to a race and know that I've trained well, and that now I can go out and perform at a level that I'm happy with. And so, so it's great. It is trying. Again, you know, you do have to mentally, it's a lot of positive reinforcement. I can do this. I feel good. I'm okay. Just one more mile, just one more mile, just one more mile. And it really does, you know, get you to that finish line. So.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. I like that. You know, again, yeah, that's very rewarding, you know, to be able to do that. That's one of these days I'll put that on my bucket list.
There you go. Let me know when you do.
Absolutely. Well, Maribel, this has been very fun for me, and I've just extremely enjoyed this video blog with you, and love to have you back on and talk about some different topics. So thank you so much again. But before we let you go, if you don't mind, if you got a couple of minutes, can you tell us the best ways for people, if they're watching, if they want to reach you directly and maybe a potential new client or what have you, if they're watching, how can they best reach you directly, please?
Sure. Okay. So my phone number is area code 561-315-1239, or they can also email me at maribel@npbbootcamp.com, and I am more than happy to do a consultation and just help in any way I can.
Wonderful. Excellent. Well, we got that coming up on the screen for the folks. If they want to grab a pen and paper, they can take that down. But Maribel, I really enjoyed this interview with you again. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of this autumn weather down there in Florida. I'm sure it's still really nicely down there, too.
Will do. Thank you, Tarryn. I appreciate it.
Likewise. Nice to meet you again, Maribel.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, there you have it. Maribel Bleeker, all the way from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, here on GoTarryn TV for the very first time, referred to us by Mr. Sean George. So, Sean, if you're watching, thank you so much for referring her. She's awesome. Love having awesome guests like that. And again, Maribel, I'd love to have you back on GoTarryn TV in the very near future, and we can talk about some other interesting topics. And just keep up doing the great job and work that you're doing down there, because you're amazing and it's just awesome to meet you. So some great stories and testimonials there from Maribel, and again, you'll be seeing her on GoTarryn TV in the very near future. And for everyone else out there, please make sure to stay connected with yours truly, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training. And the ways you could do that is to like GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter. And that way you'll stay connected with me all the time here on GoTarryn TV, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, who tells each and every one of you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Thanks so much for watching, folks. We'll see you on the next video blog.